SpaceX debris trashes Caribbean beaches. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for Tea Time Without Tea. We are still on the ship. We just came from Mykonos, the beautiful, absolutely stunning island of Greece. Mykonos is just, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. The food was great. The beaches were wonderful. The people were extremely nice. That's always a pleasure. Some places are kind of like, whatever, you know. We've been now to Rome. We went from Rome. We ended up in Athens, Greece, which was pretty nice. Then we ended up now here in Mykonos. Tomorrow is going to be another island. So today in this video, I'll probably play some video and pictures I'll show you from today's excursion on that island. Once again, Mykonos it was stunning, absolutely stunning. I would definitely recommend it to anyone coming out in the Mediterranean. It's beautiful. So I want to talk a little bit about this. I was reading an article. I was actually reading about 3 or 4 articles about this, and there was some video that I found of this debris and all of this trash and all of this junk washing ashore with SpaceX labels on it. Obviously, we know what that debris is. That is from the Starships blowing up over either the Turks Caicos Islands, or this last time, a lot of it ended up in Mexico on their shores. And these articles obviously are very negative towards Elon Musk and SpaceX. So take everything that we read with a grain of salt, but it kind of is what it is. And I want to get your thoughts on it. If you're watching this channel, you're probably a space lover, tech lover, just like myself. Maybe you have SpaceX Starlink like I do, or maybe you play around with Linux or some type of tech. But a lot of you really do love SpaceX Starlink and SpaceX in general. And Elon Musk, for that matter. Elon Musk is very polarizing. You either like him or you don't. Either you love them or you hate them. That's just simply the way it is. Some people are like that, right? For me, I like the guy. I think that he's very brilliant. I know some people say that he's not smart, but I think he's extremely smart. Even if you are not the most brilliant person in the world, if you can surround yourself with brilliant people, you are brilliant. Because there's a lot of companies out there that simply don't. They surround themselves and their company with just stupidity, and then you end up with a stupid company, a company that doesn't know how to run itself, that is just very negative to the population, and then what ends up happening is people dislike them. Even if they need them, they still dislike them. Facebook. So I want to read this article for you, and then I want to give you my commentary on it. But more importantly, at the end of this, down below, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Is this something that you feel is problematic? Is there something that they could do to mitigate things? Do you think SpaceX is handling it well, or do you think that they're just simply not doing enough? Once again, down below, I want to hear from you. If you enjoy the content, throw the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you. I appreciate that. Click this little notification button over here so when I go live, when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. And if you want to say thank you for all of my hard work on this channel, there's a little thank you button right down there. Click on that, give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, it's perfectly fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. And if you want more SpaceX Starlink content, I put together a playlist right around, don't click on it yet, right about here. When you're done watching this video, go back here, click on that, and you'll find about 510, I think it is now, videos I've put together just for you about SpaceX Starlink. Helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to do, what not to do, what to buy, what not to buy, and of course the why behind all of it, because as I always say, the channel is about the why, not just the how. So let's jump right into this. The article starts out by saying SpaceX's Starship debris ravages Mexico's shores. On May 27th, 2025, a SpaceX Starship exploded over the Gulf of Mexico minutes after launching from Boca Chica, Texas, near Mexico's border. The blast scattered twisted aluminum, scorched plastic, and 4,500-pound fuel tanks into the sea. Now that wreckage is slamming Mexico's beaches. Playa Baghdad, a vital nesting site for endangered Kemp's Ridley sea turtles, is choked with debris. Environmentalists report millions of plastic shards and metal chunks, many stamped with SpaceX, turning pristine shores into a post-apocalypse junkyard. Not good. Wildlife and livelihoods under threat. The fallout is grim. After scouring 40 kilometers of coastline, Canibio Global, a Mexican environmental nonprofit group, warns that turtle hatchlings could choke on debris or get trapped during their dash to the sea. Dolphins have been spotted near floating tanks, and local fishermen already on edge report boats hitting submerged wreckage, threatening their nets and their income. With turtle nesting season peaking, the timing is a disaster, and many coastal communities dread a permanent environmental impact. Mexico's fury sparks a showdown. Mexico's government is livid. The president has launched a probe into whether SpaceX violated environmental laws, vowing consequences if harm is proven. Talks of environmental legal action are gaining steam, with officials accusing the company of treating their shorelines like a dumping ground. SpaceX's response? Well, a hotline to report debris and a plea to steer clear. Hardly the apology or the action locals demand. A trail of destruction left behind. This isn't SpaceX's first disaster. A 2023 Starship launch obliterated Boca Chica's launch pad, hurling concrete into Texas wildlife areas, torching birds' nests, and sparking a 3.5-acre fire. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service noted 385 acres littered with debris. In January 2025, the Turks and Caicos beaches were blanketed with Starship wreckage. With SpaceX planning 25 launches a year, critics slammed the FAA for greenlighting this chaos while ecosystems pay the price. SpaceX fights back against the fallout. SpaceX isn't just sitting on their hands. No confirmation of wildlife death have been linked to the debris. A critical point. In the Bahamas, after March 25th explosion, SpaceX recovered 400 pounds of debris near Ragged Island, deploying a dedicated team alongside local officials. Aerial and underwater operations ensured nearly all fragments were cleared, with the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection confirming no hazardous materials remain. At Boca Chica, SpaceX installed a massive water-cooled steel plate system, using 450,000 gallons of water per launch, and a reinforced flame trench to prevent launch pad damage. Over 1,000 volunteers joined SpaceX's 2024 Boca Chica beach cleanup, removing 19 metric tons of trash. These aren't half measures. They show SpaceX tackling the mess head-on. Is this the chaotic price of pioneering space travel, or a company genuinely striving to balance progress with responsibility? That's a great question, right? Are they doing everything that they can, or are they not? That is the big question. And like they stated here, you're talking about 19 metric tons of trash was collected on just Boca Chica beaches. All that trash was obviously SpaceX trash. It is just trash in general, which they had 1,000 volunteers help collect. 19 metric tons. So it's not like they're not doing anything. And as they stated also, you're looking at 400 pounds of debris alone in the Ragged Islands off the Turks and Caicos Islands over there that they collected. And even more importantly, what they stated was the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection confirmed that there was no hazardous material remaining. So they're doing, I believe, what they can do. The problem that I see here is they keep blowing these damn things up. That is the big thing for me. Once again, back with IFT-7, I said, something's wrong here. They went from that block 1 to the block 2, and as soon as they went to the block 2, everything just went downhill. They just can't get one to orbit without it blowing up. One after another after another. 6 to 8 minutes into the launch, it pops its cork, and that's it. And now we got crap all over the Caribbean. That is a problem. So I'm here in Florida, and I can tell you the way they launch is they're threading the needle. Remember, you have Key West here, and then you have Cuba there, and there's a small strait that they can go through without having to worry about flying over any type of landmass. And that's what they do. But the problem is sometimes they just don't even get, this time they didn't even get out of the Gulf pretty much, right? Because all of that debris ended up washing on shore, not in the Turks and Caicos Islands, but in Mexico. And now the Mexican government is like, we can make some money here. Let's prove that there's some type of environmental problem with this, and we're going to make money. And they probably will. All right. They probably will because, you can only have so much junk float up on shore and someone not say, listen, this is an environmental problem. There's only so many coral reefs that you can actually create with all of this junk. Because, see, that's the big thing. A lot of people will be like, well, a lot of these large fragments are going to end up turning into these artificial reefs. And that's really good for the environment. It's really good for the ecosystems. And many ships that are in their last legs or their last day, especially off the coast of Florida, they'll literally sink them out there in a specific location to create, once again, a artificial reef where a lot of the fish will gather, and it turns into this full-blown ecosystem. And then you can go out there and dive that wreckage. It's very cool. But how much of this wreckage do you really need? How many of these ships are you going to blow up, right? So once again, they blew up IFT-7, they blew up IFT-8, they blew up IFT-9, and now on the ground, they blew up Starship 36. It didn't even fire up its engines. The thing popped its cork. Problem after problem after problem after problem, right? So that's the big issues that I'm seeing, not as much the environmental problem, but I can definitely see over the course of time, if this keeps happening, I can see environmental risk for sure. There's only so much of this that you can possibly, let's say, account for, right? And collect. Plastic chunks and debris and all kinds of other stuff. You don't want to see that on any beautiful, pristine ocean beach, right? A perfect example is here in Mykonos, Greece. When we were on the beaches, they're absolutely gorgeous. The water is like emerald color. It is just beautiful. In some places, it's like turquoise, super clear, cold. Very cold. We did go in, but it was very, very cold, but just gorgeous. But then there's a lot of areas, let's say on the rocks, where you just see a ton of plastic and debris that's just sitting there. Now, they need to get some people out here and actually clean the stuff up. There's no reason for that to be there. But we see a lot of that around everywhere. I know in my neck of the woods, in Palm Beach, there's a lot of environmental groups that will go out and they will bring on volunteers to check on the sea turtles, count eggs, count distances, see when they're going to hatch, put up borders around the nesting areas and all kinds of stuff to prevent the turtles from being harmed in any way. And then they'll also go out there to go and collect trash. And that's why our beaches are really pristine in Palm Beach, because of all of that work that's done. So I want to know, what say you? What do you think about all this? Do you think that it's a problem? Do you think that Elon Musk and SpaceX is doing enough? What do you think? I want to know down below. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, like I said before, throw the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and do all those things. Head over to my website, JCristina.com/shop. Once again, JCristina.com/shop. Take a look at some of my merch. If there's something there that you like, please pick it up. Help support me and my family. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, hopefully through SpaceX Starlink. And we'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Connie Bio Global, a Mexican environmental nonprofit focused on biodiversity conservation. What the fuck? Man. All these noises and flushing toilets and just shit. On this boat, it's like people flushing toilet, and then of course it's not like a normal toilet flush. No, it's got to be like the suction thing that's like oh my god. And then there's thumping on this wall and thumping on that wall. I don't know what these people are doing. All right.